everybody. It's great to be here. We're going to try a couple of world firsts just now. So, Swanee, where are you? Big fella with long arms. I don't know how they're long. Someone told me that, mate. We're going to do a quick selfie. So eat your heart out, Ellen. Everyone up here right now, Swanee's going to selfie. Standing along here. Quick, come on. I mean it. Let's go. I need to get the Outback in the back. Stand down low, everyone.
Down in the front.
Get really friendly with each other. It'll be much easier tonight with red wine, perhaps.
The shine off your head, Swanee.
Keep coming, folks. We might have to do two. Two selfies. Oh, no. All right, now, those people who weren't in it, everyone move that way and these people get in. No, take a seat. Thanks, everybody. That wasn't my idea, by the way. That got thrown on me. And that's the end. Thank you. It's good to stretch the legs. While you're all getting seated, I'll tell you a really quick funny story before I start. I often go for a jog in the mornings, every morning, just about. And I was running through the vines out here, the back of the chateau this morning. I stood on a bunch of grapes and I had to stop because I swear I heard them let out a little whine. No, seriously, it's really great to be here. All right, I'm going to stop now. The new Bush Telegraph. The Bush Telegraph is actually where Twitter and Facebook started. A lot of people don't know that Outback Queensland started social media. The Bush Telegraph is what we call out in the bush the way that word gets around. And for those of you who know it, you cannot do a thing out there. It's 1 million square kilometres Outback Queensland. 50,000 people live there and 50,000 people know your morning routine and your toilet activity. So it's something that we believe we're very good at. Everyone knows everyone's story. So we're just bringing the rest of the world into this. So look, I'm going to take you on a little bit of a journey here today. It's been a fun 18 months for Outback Queensland, and we are a group of people that got tired basically of following the beaten track. All the little paths that we ran around in, everything's a bit simple and the market's absolutely flooded with information from all these other people like British Columbia taking all the Aussies out of the country. So to think about things in the bush, you need a campfire, so we did. We went bush. I'm not any of those people, by the way, but they are some friends of mine, except for this guy. I don't know where he came from. He just walked in to camp. We went bush and we had a chat about what we could do. And a Cooper Creek cordial, for those of you who don't know, is rum and Cooper Creek water. So that's what we were drinking that night. Beautiful Cooper Creek water, right where Burke and Wills passed away all those years ago, next to the dig tree. That was right next to the dig tree where we were sitting there. And this is what happened after the sun rose. Wrong button. We decided we wanted to build powerful relationships for Outback Queensland, empowering people to become our advocates. And this is a new thing for people in the bush, this social media. So presentations like this that we do is more about educating local government out there. There's 18 local shires in Outback Queensland and still only 50,000 of them. So today we've got a community of 31,900 people who are actively promoting Outback Queensland, which is fantastic for us. We've nearly built a community bigger than the community itself. We're going to get there. Through social media, we have actually put Outback Queensland into the spotlight like never before. How'd we do it? It was pretty simple. I get really pissed off when people of coming through in younger generations just want to get out of school and go overseas. I don't know why, I just think there's a hell of a lot what we've got in our own backyard that we try to get that emotional feeling into them. So we're basically telling every Australian that they should visit the Outback at least once in their lifetime. So I'm not going to make you get up again, but hands up those who've heard of Outback Queensland, which is pretty much most of you. Keep them up. Sorry, it won't work if you put them all down. Who has ever been to Outback Queensland? That's probably about right. I'm not counting the staff that have worked with us, sorry. So out of everyone that comes to Queensland each year, it's important to know that only 1.2 to 2% visit Outback Queensland. The rest go to that thing in the water that runs up the east coast of Australia with fish and turtles and stuff that you saw. Lady Elliot was beautiful, by the way. So we put it to people to visit us just once. The reason we've said just once is 50% is our repeat visitation in Outback Queensland. We have got no problems getting people to come back once you go. So we need you to go. And we're basically asking Australians now to make a promise to visit the Outback. And we're doing it through Facebook. So far, actually I won't go into that yet. What I'm also going to do here, tonight I've got, no, I'm not going to do that either. I'll just keep going with the plan of attack. So I promised to visit the Outback. Basically, when you jump on Facebook, go to that app and hit I promise to visit the Outback. Whammo, you share it with your friends and you say, I'm heading to Outback Queensland this year. It's very basic. We didn't run into any of the issues that you guys had in BC with issues with technology. Once you hit that button, you get a You Beauty thumbs up. Again, Facebook stole that from the Outback, You Beauty. And you get a little piece of advice saying you're a legend, we'll see you out there. Basically, we're just getting you to tell your friends that you're going to make that promise. Now, you know you can't break a promise. Promises are not something that you can break. So once you hit that button and say, I've made my promise, you're coming. And I can report that to my bosses and say, look, they're all coming, they promised. I don't know when. So Kevy Rudd had a go. He made a promise. He has come out, actually, interestingly. This fella has just reserved right for the moment. We'll see how he goes later on. So look, we've grown a community who absolutely love Outback Queensland now, and to be honest, they have really made us to shine in a very cluttered outback environment. The Northern Territory is a fantastic destination, amazing outback experiences, and a hell of a lot more budget than Outback Queensland to ever promote an outback area. Effectively, it's the state budget of Queensland promoting an outback experience. So we've got it up against us when it comes to mainstream marketing. These relationships have kept us top of mind. There's a great quote by Paul Adams that you don't suddenly become close friends overnight. We become close friends through many lightweight interactions over time. And that's pretty true. I can count my best friends on my hand. They're usually people from school, believe it or not, because you're with them for 12 crazy long years. I think it takes that long. I really do. So here are our friends telling their friends the amazing product we've got in Outback Queensland. And they're doing it for us. See that shot up there on the left? That's John Williamson playing to a little select group of people on the top of Big Red Sand Dune on the edge of the Simpson Desert. Big Red Bash is that event, and it just happened last week for the second time. 38% of travellers make their choice based on recommendations of their friends and family, and 22% did so based on information from the web. So, friends and family. I think I may have just stolen a piece of Yep, I did. Sorry, mate. What we also do with the Promise campaign is we use it to showcase events in Outback Queensland. Outback Queensland has more than 500 events going on across the year, right down to Mum and Pop's Quilting Expo, through to yabby races, international Windora yabby races, I might add. They are a big one. That's the head chef, head coach in the middle, with his star Yabby, more faster. We've got a hell of a lot of race meets, horse racing everywhere, any racing actually, pigs, lizards, goats, you name it, we race them, and we gamble on them too. Our fans let us know that they're fulfilling their promise to come to the Outback, and they tell their friends and they share our content. We're getting some amazing shares there of 332 people on some of these stories that we didn't generate. So there's about 5 million or so now of those friends. Imagine if they all made their promise. I could stop my work because we don't have enough beds. If you build it, they will come. Isn't that Kevin Costner movie? We would need that many people to come out before the infrastructure starts getting built out there, before the money gets invested. So it's hard. 92% of people trust recommendations from people they know and trust. 70% trust recommendations from other like-minded consumers. Really important thing. But it doesn't end there. We've taken this a step further, which has put a massive strain on our staff of 2 people. We hit the road. Nissan gave us a sponsorship, which is great. Nissan fix us up with the most amazing vehicles in the world. Toyota, eat your heart out. And if our promise keepers find us at one of our events, you can grab a badge of honour, a special t-shirt like this one, which says, I kept my promise. And this is the conversion that we so desperately, desperately need in Outback Queensland. You all put your hands up and said you knew about it. About 1 or 2% of you actually have been. So when you do come, you get your shirt. And it's working. These are at all the different events that we head out to. You only know where we are by following us on the social media channels. So we might set our little ute up with our shirts at the opening to the race meet on that Saturday of that particular event. You walk up, you say, I've kept my promise. You only really know that, apart from some cheeky little local kids whose mates said, go and say, I kept my promise, and they'll give you a shirt. But you're usually onto them. You only know it if you've been following us. So when we hit 30,000 fans, we did a big thank you to everybody. And that was nice to see that it's continuing. So what's it all worth? That's the crunch. That's the question that my bosses want to tell me. That's the question that, have you ever dealt with 17 rural mayors, all from farming backgrounds? The conversation just doesn't happen related to social media. First thing you've got to do is talk about grids. Do you know what a cattle grid is? That's where you start. Then you slowly move into, well, you know how one sheep goes through the fence and then the rest follow? They go, yeah, they all follow each other. I said, that's what we're doing. So for the digital experts, this stuff will work for you. 240,000 Facebook stories created by 155,000 users. We've had more than 8,000 promises made, which is fantastic, really exciting stuff. Our posts have reached 2.7 million, 34.9 million Facebook impressions, and activity from our Facebook page has reached 10 million plus people in 2 years, which is awesome. I agree, I didn't come up with those stats. I actually have no idea how to even get those stats. So the previous presentation, I hear you loud and clear. But when someone does give it to you and you show them, they love it. And for the CEOs, treasurers, audit committees, boards, governments, critics, non-believers, accountants, strategists, bureaucrats, creative agencies, public servants, media, and anyone else who may be sceptical to the value earned from this we have developed an unquestionable algorithm, which I challenge anyone to question me tonight on this algorithm. Since we began, it's actually 8,000 now. When I wrote this, I was writing it off a 5,000 figure. Bear with me because my mathematics is crap. So 5 is easier to multiply than 8. So just think of it as 8,000. So 5,000 people have made a promise through Facebook to visit the Outback. Now we do visitor profile studies, or VPS studies. It's our best on-the-ground information you can get. And we send surveys out and we survey people in region at the time. So our VPS studies have showed us that our average length of stay in Outback Queensland is 4 to 7 days. Our average spend is about $90 per person per day. Now that's not including your flight or your cost to get there. That's your money spent in region. So $90 a day, 4 to 7 days. So when everyone keeps their promise, and you can't break a promise, can you, Rodney? 5,000 promise keepers staying 4 days, spending $90 a day, that's a conservative 1.8 million into the Outback economy. So, unquestionable. What economics man could question that? Well, all of them do, actually. But we kept going. There is more. We also know that Outback Queensland has approximately a 50% visitation rate, which I mentioned earlier. That's a further $900,000 from those same people, because half of them came back, and there's a little bit more. We curate and create amazing content. We share it with our community. Their friends see it, and it influences their travel decisions. So at a point in time, which it's a lot more than this now, but again, at a point in time, we had a look at how many people saw the Outback content shared by their friends. It was around about just under 500,000 people. So 20% of those people could book a trip as a result of content their friends share, because 20% of Australians surveyed booked a domestic holiday as a result viewing their friends' updates in social media. So that's 94,801 people who might visit Outback Queensland through their friends, staying between 4 to 7 days, spending $90 a day, which represents 34 to 60 million. You know, economists, again, they don't like it. But there's some truth in that. If the stats say you travel because what your friends say travel out there, it's a loose, but I believe the closest thing we've got to putting a bit of a value into conversion that we can come up with. And we're just getting started, folks. We are a monstrous destination. 1 million square kilometres, 50,000 people. This is the New Bush Telegraph. That is sitting on the edge of the Simpson Desert looking west. If anyone's ever not done that, that is the most evoking feeling, especially when you're on your own out there and you see a dingo run past. It's a different feeling all over. We struggle with perception out there. I think, Chad, you mentioned perception in your very first line today. We have that problem too. Every time you see a backpacker Wolf Creek style show, suddenly all these brains, particularly the Generation Y brain, goes, I'm never going out there, no friggin' way. Once you get there, it all changes, I promise you. The people are amazing. So to summarise this, we didn't really ask him. We paid for some music rights for John Butler's song, and we made a video ourselves. So I just thought I'd show this little wrap-up in summary. The reason I do this, again, it's not for probably you guys. It's for the councils and the stakeholders that we work with to get them to understand quickly what we are trying to do for them. So we might roll that little vid.
Wither out my post, I'm walking
So thank you very much, folks.